This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask with your host, Dr. Judith Briles. On the show today, you'll find out where book publishing is going and how to take advantage of it. How to identify and avoid publishing predators. What opportunities are emerging as the book trade evolves in new forms. How to avoid losing money and much, much more. Join us now as a variety of publishing pros will deliver insights and strategies to take the author to the next level of publishing. It's your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. Brought to you by Author U and the Book Shepherd. And now, here's your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
Place is Tammy Bleck, and Tammy did a fabulous presentation on all things blogging. And what Tammy brings to the party that a lot of bloggers don't get is number one, she's not boring, she's not dull, she's not yawn producing or snooze overload. She is witty, she is fun, she's pithy, and she's got one of my favorite blogs, which is called Witty Woman Writing. So I would encourage you, number one, to look to subscribe to it, Witty Woman Writing. And a little bit about Tammy, she's really a serial entrepreneur. She's been doing it since she was in her early 20s. She's founded 5 successful startups during her lifetime. She's also a great ghostwriter. So she's a contributor to the Huffington Post. She's Jewish Journal correspondent. She's the author of Single Pass 50, Now What? And it's just really a pleasure to have her with us today. So we're going to talk about some of the things that we did at the extravaganza, why you should make sure that you're here next year, why you should be following her on her blog, plus a lot of other things dealing with just life and writing and being an author. Hi, Tammy. Welcome to the program.
Well, good morning. Hello to you. I'm so happy to be here.
Good. All right. So if we have, and this is morning time when we're doing it, although you get to listen to it first in the evening, but Tammy's just finished speaking. And tell me what some of the things that you covered within your presentation, Tammy, that really resonated with the group.
I think it is that blogging is so much more and brings so much more to your bottom line and to your business, to your sales, to your interaction with your tribe, with your fans. It is a rake that brings in business. I think a lot of people did not think that blogging was capable of doing it and doing it as quickly as it does.
Mm-hmm. Well, I loved your last blog. You said, think you can solve the world's problems, don't bother, I've done it for you. Including you polished all your plant leaves. You can come to my house and do that, because I'm just now, we're just getting our decks all set out now. The snow's gone here.
That's what happens when you're homebound for a while. People say, well, I don't know what to write about, or I don't know. Blogging is an excellent way for writers to give themselves current, fresh, weekly exposure. Their SEO ranking shoots through the roof. Google loves them. It's a constant posting of their work, their skill. It shows their writing chops, in different ways. I mean, on Witty Woman Writing, I get a little political, as you know. I get a little critical. I get a little celebrity-focused. I get a little midlife woman-focused, current events. So I can parlay that into articles, and I sell it to articles, which also parlays into speaking gigs. And I think a lot of people don't associate blogging with that.
Well, they don't. And I think they struggle so much trying to find a topic, and they forget to, look around what's happening to you. How can you incorporate that and make a key point out of it? And when you do that, the ideas for blogs are everywhere.
Exactly. And you and I think a lot of the people that are attending the extravaganza recall the newsletter. The newsletter is dead. The blog has taken its place because it's current, it's fresh, it's new, it's ongoing every week. It addresses what's happening now, and it kind of stakes your claim into whatever. And if you're a writer like I am, you get to talk about that. You get to talk about the different things that are happening in the writing industry. Or I did a post on my dog, of all things, but then I sold that to a magazine that is celebrates animals. Then about 6 months later, I was asked to go speak at one of their events, and it's just parlays. It's a foothold to get people's attention. It also got me on Huffington Post, which is awesome, which got me invited to the Katie Couric show. It all starts with blogging.
So it's a domino. I know that Joan Stewart is doing a program also tying in, because she's a great blogger with Publicity Hound blog. And she really feels that it really is your home core. And you let everything go out. You carry it off your website, but you let everything blow out of that and resonate. And it really carries what your true voice is.
It is your true voice. And it, for me, and I don't mean to rush the segue, but for me, it has introduced me into so many avenues. By the way, I've only been blogging for just a wee bit over 3 years. So I haven't been at this for 10 years. I do have a few thousand subscribers, which is awesome, but it has it has quadrupled my income in probably the second year I was doing it. But it has introduced me into all kinds of venues for writing that I didn't even know I could put my toe into that pool. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love the idea of quadrupling your income.
I do too.
I think that's a great idea. Part, and I suspect there's not a listener who wouldn't like that idea too. And you get to do it all from your laptop or your desktop and whatever place you decide to land that.
I get to do it in my pink fuzzy robe with my little pig slippers, with my cup of coffee, and I put it out there, and it goes by itself. And I have taken the time to build a constructive blog. I've taken the time to do everything right about it, the structure, the plugins, all that is very super important, which we talked about at the extravaganza. I mean, everybody is well informed on that now because a lot of people go in blind. No need to do that. But once you do that, content is queen, but the topics are and the titles are super. Listen, I've gotten a lot of ghostwriting gigs because I was able to say, this is a sample of my work. And they're able to click into my website and read the blog that I sent them, but then they can peruse it and they can see my humor, they can see my sincerity, they can see my heart, they can search me. They're basically, my blog is my writing resume.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? If you're someone who needs something that then is highly clinical or educational or academic, you know what? Your blog isn't going to be probably the right fit, although I would say they need it.
Correct. I agree with you.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's my style too, because I do love the humor of it. Well, let's just jump into this, Tammy. You've been blogging for 3 years very successfully. It's been a kickstart and a leapfrog into a variety of areas. So for people who are just thinking about blogging, or their blog is limping along, or maybe it needs a makeover, what are some of the steps that they should be going through?
I would highly recommend, blogs need to not be generic in appearance. They need to be, the cruel truth of the matter is that people visit our website, if it's not attractive, if it's not inviting, if it's not colorful, and you of all people know this, Judith, they probably won't stay longer than 6 seconds. If what they're looking for is too hard to find, they get frustrated very easily. The mind span and time that they have on the web. So the blog needs to be attractive. So I would highly recommend to deviate from the templates that are offered just enough, maybe with some color and some formatting and some fonting. But I really, I went out and hired someone to spiff up my WordPress formatting. I did most of it myself, but I said it really needs some pizzazz. Throw out the $500. And because this is your business, this is your place of business. I get judged by this before they read a word. And that's what you need to pay attention to. So spend the money on a person that knows what they're doing on a web design. They can spiff it up and make it fun and put in plugins and, just make it very easy and simple and colorful and bright that suits your brand, which it has to do, which you teach us all. By the way, I want to share with the listeners that I was a pupil of yours. 6 years ago.
Oh my God, so many years ago.
Yes, I went to one of your salons and have a great affection for you, for the way you taught it, for the way you, the content that you gave was just so much I couldn't write fast enough, and how much we all learned. So I know that's completely out of context, but and blogging wasn't one of the subjects, and I hope in the future, if it isn't already, it should be. But because it's really in the mix now. But my gosh,
yeah, I think blogging is critical, and doing it. And it's very interesting because people were poo-pooing it, I think, for a while, and they were also. I remember they were poo-pooing the websites, and I think you got to be kidding. They go hand in hand. You have to have a parking spot to hang your hat, and in effect, the website, and for some case, it could be the blog that is the website, is they off of that. But that's your office. That's your virtual office. And what's so
we
cool...
both come from a time when we started a business, we had to rent a space, install a phone, put a Yellow Pages ad in, buy some fake plants, and get a receptionist. Now it's our website.
Exactly. So now I have a receptionist. I still have the receptionist. I still have people who work for me, but I do have, and I have a full-blown, I have a huge office, and we're just setting up the outside office because I am ready to start working outside because that's where I get juice from, Tammy.
Right.
That's, I can sit out and watch the hummingbirds come in and I've got a log idea about how fast you have to move, or, look at those little wings going. My God.
That is inspiration comes from what's around you.
Exactly.
I also want to share two things about blogging that people have, many people have never thought of, and people in extravaganza.
All right, hold on that, because we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll get in those key components. But with me is Tammy Bleck. She is an amazing blogger, Witty Woman Writing. You want to follow it. This is Judith Browse. You're listening to Author U, your guide to book publishing.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these on the Rockstar Radio Network.
Is there a book in you or another? Author U will show you how to create, develop, and publish your book without being hoodwinked. If you already have a book out, you'll find a supportive and brainstorming community that's connected and creative no matter where you live. Author U brings in national experts for its book camps and annual author extravaganza held each May. It has regular meetings and delivers webinars for its members on timely topics. Through Author U's extensive network, members enjoy exclusive benefits, including significant discounts for a variety of services necessary to publishing. The Resource, its online book publishing news magazine, is content-heavy and it's free. If you want to create a book that has pizzazz, punch, and panache, Author U is for you. If you're a hobbyist or a casual author, it's not. Join Author U today through its website at authoru.org. Follow Author U on Twitter at AuthorU and on Facebook at Author U, where timely author and publishing tips and articles are posted daily. Author U, where the author goes to become seriously successful.
Every picture tells a story. And it's a truism that people do judge a book by its cover. Nick Sellinger and NZ Graphics have been in the business of producing superior graphic cover design and interior layout for self-published authors, independent and traditional publishers for years. He has developed a reputation for excellent work, fast turnarounds, and best of all, affordable pricing. NZ Graphics also produces ebooks and book marketing materials such as posters, sell sheets, postcards, bookmarks, business cards, logos, and more. Books designed for his clients have won multiple book awards, including Best Book Award by U.S. Book News, multiple Evie Awards from the Colorado Independent Publishers Association, Indie Book Awards, the San Francisco Book Festival Award, and Freedom Medal Award from Valley Forge. Visit www.nzgraphics.com or call 303-985-4174 for more details about making your book the success it should be. Mention that you are an FOJ, friend of Judith's, and that you heard about NZ Graphics on your guide to book publishing.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
Hi, this is Judith, and with me is Tammy Bleck, an amazing, amazing woman, someone I've really admired because I love her wit. I love the way she writes. I love her zingy look of life. She's the creator of Witty Woman Writing. She also writes for the Huffington Post. She did a session at the Extravaganza this morning on blogging and all things, and had a great, great response. And I should tell you, Tammy is just recovering from a grueling surgery, and she is now walking with a fabulous cast. But I guess we missed the pink one, Tammy.
Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry about that, because it was kind of awesome.
Yeah, there you go. See, I would have a purple cast. But we could have gone together. We could have been the Bobbsey twins. But we're really talking about a variety of things. And the Extravaganza it's an amazing, amazing event that if you weren't able to make it this year, put May 5 through 7 on your calendar next year. It's going to be the first full week, or the 7th through 9th, the 7th through 9th next year. It will be at Denver, Colorado, and you just really want to be there. It's not a pitch fest. Think of it as an info fest for authors and authors to be. Anyone who's publishing, whether you're publishing on your own or you decided you want to go the traditional route, it doesn't matter, because guess what? You're going to have to do all the work anyway, if you're going to sell your book, that is. So, Tammy, with that, we were just going to jump into, you were going to share two things that really were critical in the blogosphere and how to be really successful, and those were what?
Yes, and this came as a big surprise to the audience. But I want to say something first. This is the second extravaganza that I've attended. The first one, not a speaker. But if you can't be successful at what you're doing after you attend this, I don't know what to say. There is so much information and so much leadership pouring forth, so much stuff you didn't even know you didn't know.
I agree with you. And here's what's cool. You and the 20 plus other speakers, they all hang around and they're available to talk to people. They don't swoop in. In fact, they can't work with me. If they're swoopers, and what's a swooper? They come in, they do their gig, they split. Not allowed. Not allowed. You've got to be there and be present, because you know what? They just may be the thing that is your missing link that could take you to the next level of what you are. And Tammy, what you said, if they can't be successful, I'll tell you how they can't be successful. They don't implement. And I talked to someone who is now going to come again this year. She said, but God, there was just so much stuff I didn't do from last year, and I feel so overwhelmed. I get it. My style is to overwhelm you. But the reality is that what was in last year and the strategies and the styles, guess what? It changes. There's always core basic things, but it changes. especially with marketing, especially with social media. And you know what? There has been a lot of changes on how you position and work with blogs. Isn't that right?
Correct. I mean, I use Pinterest for my blog. My blog always goes up on Twitter and LinkedIn, Google Plus. I mean, it's everywhere. The blog goes out everywhere, and it goes out several times. And by the way, LinkedIn is super great social media for blogging, and many bloggers don't think so. But the two things I wanted to talk about that are just so, I think, revolutionary in blogging and have really worked well for me are corporate bloggers and market influencers. 2 years ago, there was no such thing of either. A corporate blogger, which is something I am doing, is a corporation hires me to do their blog every other week or every month or every week. And they pay me handsomely to ghostwrite their blog. And that's a great way to make steady, not chintzy income for people that write. And who we all talk about, I want to make a living as a writer, but all I want to do is write a book. Well, a writer is a writer. If you're good at what you do, pick your topics and write about it. And don't you want to get paid for it? And that takes us to the second avenue, which is market influencers. I've had companies contact me, a toilet tissue company, a shoe company, a smartphone company. We'd like to send you a sample of our product. We'd like you to blog about it. We will pay you X amount of dollars to do it. We are the new
I love that idea.
agency.
Okay, so, Tammy, how do we find those people?
Those people, first of all, you have to be a consistent blogger. In other words, consistent mean don't get on every 6 weeks or every other month or blog what you feel. You need to put out a blog in a consistent manner. Generally, it's once a week. It can be twice a week. Same day, same time frame. They follow that. They don't want a flighty blogger. They want a solid blogger. Your content has to be well written, obviously. And then you go and you sign up with some of these corporations on LinkedIn. And you say, this is who I am. Make sure your summary on LinkedIn tells them that you're a blogger and a writer, and they come to you. I have never solicited a market influencer. I have written for about 14 or 15 of them. They come to me. I get my inbox and I get an offer to write. And, I
love this idea. Well, I'm big on LinkedIn. Yeah. And you know what? I haven't put, I'll tell you, confession, I haven't put, I'm a blogger in there, but crumb bum, I write 4 blogs a week. And I have 2 for Author You, and I have 2 for the Book Shepherd.
You need to slap those up there.
Well, girlfriend, I'm going to do it.
All right. You're welcome.
I'm telling you, within 1 hour of this broadcast, it will be up.
Every time you put one out, you put one in your your share, and it goes out to all the people in the feed, and people actually read it and comment on it. Plus, I would post it in your groups. I know you have a fabulous group, Author You, but there are many other writing groups, and it should be posted there. But if it's about, there's a lot of corporations that could really use. You don't really have time to write for corporate. I don't think. I could be wrong.
Oh, sometimes you can whip those
it certainly
things
is
up.
a lucrative way to spread your wings.
Here, let me just add this in. I watched there was something and I ended up writing a blog in 15 minutes on it, a complete blog. The beginning, middle, end, and it was just from a goofy video that I got. And I wrote the blog was about creativity. Where does your creativity come from? Now, I didn't set out to even write that blog that day. I wasn't going to write a blog that day. I watched this goofy video about 10,000 iPhones doing a domino thing. And it took 1 minute and 20 seconds to say, Rod. And I was thinking, oh my God, where do people get 10,000 iPhones? Number 2, who thought this up? Number 3, who has time to do this kind of stuff? Really?
Right.
Who has time to do this kind of stuff? But it started kicking off to me that literally who where did this come from? And then the whole blog became about whereabout could it come from that you could have creativity? What spurs you on? And it was really a good little blog. And I included the link to the video so people could see it, that where it spurred it. So it's again goes back to the deal, where do your ideas come from? And for writers, authors, they've got to have that creativity DNA in them. Otherwise, they're boring as watching grass grow.
That's right. And the problem is no one will tell them that.
Oh, I will.
I will tell them that. I do a lot of my business is consulting for people that are building a blog and doing their writing and stuff. And I have been the person to say, you're boring me. It's just like reading paint dry.
Exactly. Well, see, I have to add that to my repertoire, watching paint dry. That's a good one, too. Well, or watching mud form. That's another one of mine. But, Tammy, a lot of people are really interested in talking to you at the Extravaganza. Okay, so how can I get an hour of your time to show me how to construct and get my way to go? And that's something you do with blogging. You can do a really quick, fast consult to get them goosed and started, right?
I do a fast-track consulting. You go to my website and you go to Hire Me, and you just read what do you need an hour, or do you want to work together for a month and work on your blog and your social media and whatever, your elevator speech. We do all that. And then you just click the PayPal button, and we set up a time, an appointment, and we sit down and hash it out. We Skype it out if you're local. If you're in LA, we coffee shop it, or I have a little office you can come to, or we use Skype, or just talk on the phone. And generally, I have to confess, it's over an hour, but we really get it going. We get you started. We give you everything you need that you need to know, where to go, shortcuts, because listen, my first year of blogging, I did everything that the experts told me to do, and basically they took my money and ran all the way and laughed to the bank. I figured I did everything wrong, in other words. There's no shortcut to success, but there are some true and tried ways of blogging that are a little shorter to success. And why should you not know them? Why should you not do them?
No, I listen. I love this. I'm always looking for, okay, what can I take away? I love the tip about doing the corporate blogging, and I've already written down 3 names of actually people I'm going to approach in our exhibit hall and say, let's work together. I have an idea for you. All right, we'll be right back. Tammy Bleck is my guest. We have great ideas of how to soar your blogosphere and make money. This is Judith Browse.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these on the Rockstar Radio Network.
Since 1987, Color House Graphics has set the standard for quality book production. Whether you decide to print a small quantity of books or need a large print run, depend on Color House to help you. You'll receive professional help and advice the moment you reach one of our representatives. If you mention hearing about us on your guide to book publishing with Judith Briles, we will provide you with a discount on the first order you place. To speak with a project manager, call us toll-free at 800-454-1916 or visit us at www.colorhousegraphics.com.
When Ned Thompson and Harry Shore started Thompson Shore in 1972, they believed employees with great character would make up the best company. They were right. They hired people who were not only experts in bookmaking, but who were obsessed with quality and delivering exceptional customer service. Almost 40 years later, Thompson Shore remains a 100% employee-owned company. Ned and Harry knew that successful customer projects are a direct result of empowered employees. We specialize in all books for large and small publishers. Creating beautiful and well-made books, we're dedicated to pleasing our customers by making the experience a good one from start to finish. The personal touch we have with our customers allows us to be innovative in solving their most difficult challenges. Our platform also ensures that we can remain flexible to meet our customers' unique needs and expectations. Our marketing kit can create buzz for your title, enhancing the promotion of your book during infancy. When you need to test the market to gauge your future sales, we can provide digitally printed books that will transition seamlessly into a larger offset run. From ebook to hard copy to delivery, our skillful customer service teams are at the ready to answer your most pressing question. At Thompson Shore, we know that making the highest quality books requires more than just best technologies. It requires superior customer service, professionalism to the trade, and commitment to environmental and social values. With these standards of excellence in place, you can be sure that we will always help you put your best book forward.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. Coming up, you'll hear more about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
Hi, we are back with Tammy Bleck. We are talking about some really interesting ideas to expand what you're doing with blogging, how to really monetize it, frankly. And I know I've come away with a couple of really good tips already that I'm going to be incorporating pronto, and that Tammy's got a lot more to take advantage of. So let's jump into some more ideas. So you're talking about market influencers. Making sure that you incorporate the LinkedIn idea of getting, if what she's saying is, and Tammy, you can jump in here, but really in your profiles, if you're interested in letting people know that you're good with the words, you're a wordsmith, and you can get the voice of a corporation, a company, a group, organization, anybody, fill in the blank, that you could be a paid blogger for them. But you have to put it out in your profiles that you are available for that. Is that correct, Tammy?
That is correct. Everything that you have, from the signature of your emails to your business card to all of your profiles, if you'll check my LinkedIn, I believe I have corporate blogger on there. And some of them even I've put blogger for hire. It doesn't say it more plainly than that. So everything that you have on my business card, I have blogger extraordinaire, because I'm not humble.
No. Oh, no, you've got to brag. I mean, listen, everybody out here, you can't, I used to call it the school teacher approach. Oh, surely everyone will know what a great job I do. No, you have to let them know.
No, they don't. And I get a lot of comments about that. I'll say I'm a legend in my own mind, or I'm a blogger extraordinaire, and people always, have a little fun with that. It's a little whimsy, but it's serious, and they say, really, you're a blogger extraordinaire? Like, yep, yes, I am. Check me out. And they do. They check me out.
Exactly. Well, I love that idea. And I think that if you're really after corporations, I think here's a way that you do it. You just start saying that, which is exactly what I just put in my LinkedIn profile. Done. So. Oh,
I'm so happy.
All right. So that's the kind of stuff.
And I want to tell you something. A lot of people don't know. 60% of bloggers are men. 60%.
Well, chicks unite.
And they're not doing it. Very few market influencers are men.
All right.
Because
so
here's
the other idea then. If you're female, and you've got the gift with words, which is what our listeners are, that look out for companies whose primary consumer is a woman. Why not approach them about, you need to make sure you have a woman's voice in here.
Correct.
In
and what is the
your
largest
marketing outreach
demographic right now? Boomers.
Mm-hmm.
Midlifers. Products that cater to them need voices. And rather than hire publication offices, these corporations are coming to bloggers. And it's a marvelous thing. And I don't know how long the trend will last. Maybe it'll ride for the next 20 years, God willing. But if you're not on the train, you're not going to get there.
No, you have to get on, and you have to play in the party. So just these kind of ideas. I mean, I've got a couple of our clients, and in fact, one of them who was coming to Extravaganza after I kind of twisted. And I was telling Barb, who is not selling her books, and I gave her a whole lesson because I do a once a month free, anyone in Colorado, once a month, I do a 3 hour pick my brain coaching. You come to my house. I limit it to 15 people. And it's free. The only thing you have to bring is a healthy snack to share with everyone. I put the coffee and tea on. Otherwise, I have a flip chart up, and you walk in and you write on that flip chart what you need to take away, and I make sure you go away with what that is. Don't put money, but
yeah, right.
What do you need help with? And I mean, it's fabulous what comes out of it. And I did a whole section on how to structure and create a signature story for a speech. That it kind of blew everybody away because they didn't realize what you have to do to choreograph some of these things. It's just like choreographing a blog. I mean, it's everything has a beginning, middle, and end. And it's how you bring the components together. And I gave them a couple of my key signature stories, and then I shredded them and showed them how they came together. So it's fun. It's great fun to do that.
There. And I think that's something that people say, oh, you know what? My business is going great. I'm making enough money. I'm very happy. I don't need to learn anything. Every single time I've gone to one of your events, and there have been many that you have sponsored and put on, I always come away learning something.
Well, you have to. I mean, it's not that I'm feeling you have to come away with the whole hour. You have to have 60 different ideas, although I've done events, 60 ideas in 60 minutes. But I think that, because they're all not going to resonate, they're all not going to be a right fit. But there should be a couple of nuggets in here that are the home run. But you have to be open to them and listen for them, receptive, so you can noodle it and take it away. And I think that's where, I mean, Tammy, that's my experience of attending to conferences, speaking at conferences for over 30 years, that people come with different agendas. And if your agenda is to learn and take something away that will grow you, expand you, fix you, make you over, whatever it is, it will be there. But if you don't know what you're coming for, it's not going to happen.
And never think you know enough.
Oh, absolutely.
Never think you know enough. I'm going to share just a super brief story. I was having a conversation with a gentleman whose name is Rob Reiner. Do you know who Rob Reiner is?
I do.
Okay. He told me, I mean, the man is 90-something and sharp as a tack. He still goes to a writing group. He's authored X amount of books. He's a mega success. He still attends a writing group because he knows that he never knows enough. I mean, that is to me so admirable and such a life lesson for writers, but really for anything. But writers tend to get a little confident, God willing, and cocky that, I've got this down. This is working for me now. I don't need to know anything else.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the kiss of death.
Yeah, and that is one of those things that we're looking at all the time for this kind of stuff. We always think that we've got it all. I always am learning stuff. I'm always going to things. I go to things that I just sit in, and I always say that, no, I'm here just to be a pissy attendee.
That's right. And, as a speaker, and you're a fabulous speaker, and I do an awful lot of speaking all over the place, university and stuff. I like going to see other speakers. I like to see what they do that maybe I can do, or maybe what I can do better, or what definitely not to do. I mean, you do that too, don't you?
Yep. Oh yeah. I'm going to watch. I'm watching their positioning, their staging, how they open, how they close. I'm looking for what the subtle call to action is. And to go sometimes to really blatant. Here's one of the confessions. I remember years ago, I was in San Francisco at this conference and sitting watching, and Zig Ziglar was on. And when he came on and he slid across the stage on his knees, holding his book up, I thought, this ain't going to work for me. Number one, I can't get on my knees that way. I have artificial knee. It ain't going to work for me. But the thing is, I also watch for things that will not work, that you don't go down that route. Don't try to emulate something that is absolutely the wrong fit for you. Which brings us back into, let's come back into the blogging sphere. Tammy has, when you go to Witty Woman Writing, that when you look at that, she has a very distinct style. Okay, it may not be yours. You may enjoy it. It is enjoyable. I've loved some of her blogs. I've loved them all, Tammy, but they're all very different. Some of them are very kick-ass. Whoops! Oh, they kick you in the butt.
Can you say that? Can you say that on the radio?
No, I said it.
Okay.
Some of them are that really motivate you. Some of you, touch your heart. Or you're thinking, what in the heck was that person thinking? But the reality is that they create a reaction, which I think is a good idea that you want to do. Here's one of the things I am finding, Tammy, that my producer says I can. So good. All right. So if you want to be kick-ass, you can do that.
Okay.
But
good.
If you if you want to really move people, you need to see how the people sometimes do it. Because here's one of the things I've said as a speaker, especially in your closing remarks. You can make them laugh, you can make them cry, you can make them think, but you can't just leave them. You've got to give them doing something with that. So as you write your blogs, what's your purpose in the blog in the first place? And I think that's important to look at. What is your purpose? What do you want them to do or to think about or just have a great day? I mean, what is it? I mean, Tammy, we have 1 minute to our final break here, but what is it? I'd love you to get into when you're structuring a blog or you're just looking for a crazy idea to go with, or do you set it up that you absolutely know what your beginning, middle, end, or does it evolve with it? I'd love to have you get into that. And then I think that's also really a critical thing you said. Here's Rob Reiner, extraordinarily successful writer of all things in Hollywood for a gazillion years. He's still taking writing classes. So
phenomenal.
The best people. Go ahead.
There's a life lesson there, don't you think?
Total life lesson. Yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to get back to these final life lessons to be a successful blogger. Tammy Bleck is with me. This is Judith Briles.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these on the Rockstar Radio Network.
Do you sell stuff? Do you want to sell books? Lots of them? If yes, you must take credit cards, the most widely used form of payment today. The Free Terminal has created a special program for your guide to book publishing listeners. No contract. All equipment is free. Extremely low rates and no termination fees ever. Contact Alan Dean at alan@thefreeterminal.com or call him at 303-668-6828. The Free Terminal has handled all credit card transactions for both Author You and Judith for over a year. Don't wait another day. Contact Alan at thefreeterminal.com or call 303-668-6828 and tell him you want the no contract Author You deal.
The book shepherding concept is simple. The publishing world is changing, and so must you. You need an experienced shepherd and a guide to partner with you as you create, strategize, develop, publish, and achieve your publishing goals. You can't do it alone without paying the price. You can spend your money creating a book that turns out to be so-so, or you can create a book that looks and feels classy, builds your brand, and is a financial success, a bestseller. It's your choice. You choose. You need the book shepherd. Publishing is riddled with obstacles, sometimes nightmares for the author. You don't need problems. You want solutions. Dr. Judith Briles will shepherd you through the maze and the chaos. At times, she's had to step in and rescue a book that has been sabotaged by a publisher or by a publishing service provider or sometimes even the author themselves. Judith Briles is the book shepherd if you want to create a book with no regrets. Give her a call today, 303-885-2207. That's 303-885-2207, or email her at judith@briles.com. By the way, Briles is spelled B-R-I-L-E-S. Follow Judith on Twitter at My Book Shepherd and on Facebook at The Book Shepherd.
At Total Printing Systems, customer service is our priority. We are located in Southern Illinois. Our employees have an average of 18 years experience and know that customer relationships are important to our continued success. We have been a short-run book printer for nearly 40 years and always stay at the forefront of technology. Our niche is from 1 to 5,000 copies. Today, we offer digital, black and white, and 4-color high-speed inkjet printing, a cost-effective way to introduce color into your short-run titles. We, of course, offer traditional offset printing as well. Bindery is done in-house, from adhesive case binding to PUR perfect binding to mechanical binding of all types, including side sewing. We provide warehousing, kitting, distribution, inventory management, a new print-on-demand facility, streaming browser-based ebooks, and bookstore. Call us at 1-800-465-5200 for a quote on your next book project. You can also visit our website at www.tps1.com.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
Well, I'm learning a lot about some ideas for me. So this has been kind of a bonus when I can really take away something that I can run with. And let me tell you, I am running with it. On doing some corporate blogging because I am fast. I can write fast. I can come up with taglines, and I like punch. And I'm actually going to reach out to some of the people in the publishing arena, which I know a heck of a lot out. But I know a lot about a lot of different things because I've been out here for a long time. And that so have a lot of you. And so Tammy, just a great idea on how you take your skills and get paid for it, because invariably, when I talk about marketing, that's when the glaze goes over an author's eyes. They don't, I just want to write. Well, she just gave you a great way to get paid for writing for other people. So Tammy, what are some of the other things? We've got about 10 minutes to really zing through some things that they can do that you've learned on the way.
I would say that you need to, as a blogger, you need to be fearless. You need to guard your personal life. You don't want to put too much out there, but you need to share enough to have someone who reads it like you or hate you. Either one is good. I put out a post that the Huffington Post picked up, and it was a satirical whimsy post about how men are weaker than women because they're such babies when they get sick. And it was a very brief post. Do you remember that? Did you read that?
Yeah, I did.
My fiancé was about to go into surgery, and it was like he was, going to die. He was going to die. And it was just, and I made fun of it a little bit. And actually the title of the post was, "This is a Sexist Post." I had just begun working with the Huffington Post, and they ran with that story, and they got 300 comments in 20 hours. 280 of them were hate mail. And I read those one after another. I picked up the phone and I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was apologetic. Please don't fire me. I love being here. And they said, isn't it great? Isn't this marvelous? We need more of this. So does it matter if they love you? No, it doesn't. If you need to be loved by everyone, I would say get over it. Your blog needs to engage. It needs to motivate. It needs to anger. Mm-hmm. It needs to make someone think or feel. And if it's not making someone think or feel, whether it's with you or against you, or it's not informing them of some vital stuff that their life is going to be better because they know it, and their business can move forward because they have it, then why would I read it? We all have 24 hours in a day. Why would I spend 3 minutes reading your blog if it's not going to engage me, inform me, or make me think in one way or another? And the answer is, I won't. I won't read it. And by the way, the comments that we get on our blog, it's estimated that only about 2% of your audience ever comments. A lot of people read it. It gets passed around, Open rates are high, but you don't get a lot of comments. That's okay. Huffington Post gets a lot of comments. Jewish Journal does too. But your blog needs to do something. It needs to not sit on the page. It needs to invoke an emotion of some kind. And it doesn't have to be the same subject all the time. I've read some of your blogs, Judith, and it makes me I want to try that. I'm going to why didn't I think of that? And
I have to tell you, one of my favorite blogs I did was I asked, is your book cover and spine a Tesla or a trike? And somebody said, what's a Tesla? Yeah, I loved that one because I gave you 2 killer ways to really make your book cover stand out. And it requires you to go into a brick and mortar store. And I'm just going to make you all go read it because everyone listening should go to that blog on the authoru.org and a site and read, is your book cover a Tesla or a trike? Because I'm going to guarantee it will totally morph the way you create your book cover or work with a cover designer as you go forward.
Absolutely.
So,
and keep in mind that almost every one of our blogs most likely can be sold to a magazine as an article.
Well, how would you do that? Because it's already been published.
Yeah,
I would be curious about that because I've got some great blogs.
Man versus dog, and it was a satirical thing.
Say it again.
And it was about my dog. I had read this goofy thing on Facebook that said, if you really want to know who loves you, put your husband and your dog in the trunk of your car. In 15 minutes, come back and see who's happy to see you. And that made me laugh, and it gave me a blog idea. Right? So I thought, okay, I'm going to write about that because I already know the answer to that. And I shared a personal story of where I almost lost my little dog. And as I said to the doctor, please take care of her. She's my best friend. And driving home, my fiancé says to me quietly in a car, I thought I was your best friend. And so it became a dog story and a human interest story. And I changed it up a little bit. And I made some comparisons, man versus dog. Dog, pukes on the carpet 3 times, man, it's just that kind of fun stuff. So I had fun with it. But I cleaned it up, and I sent it to a dog fancy magazine, and they published it. Happy to have it. I didn't get paid much, but, I'm published in the magazine, and they did ask me to come and judge their mutt contest. And I was able to, sell books at the back of the room. I mean, it's all a win-win. It makes for a very interesting and fun life, and blogging has taken me there. So that's just one example. I write about boomers thing. I write about anger. I write about all kinds of things, and there's all kinds of magazines that those can fit into. I'm super busy doing a lot of consulting now, so I do less of it. But when I first started, I would say I was having about a 40% average of getting stuff published.
That's huge.
And I'll tell you why. Because I was sending them a link to my blog,
I have a quick question.
And they could check me out on my webpage.
All right. I have a big quick question because I'm getting feedback from other people who have really decent blogs. They're seeing less people sign up for the blogs. They just seem to go to them instead of, getting them in their mailbox every so often. They just go to the website and read them. have you got any input on that from other bloggers?
I think we all struggle with that, and I think part of that also stems from sharing on Facebook, sharing on Twitter. People share it, but they don't sign up for it. We all struggle with that, and I think, of course, the answer is to give them something for sharing their email address and signing up. Subscribe and receive. I mean, you're the tried and true example of that. Subscribe and receive 10 Witty Woman tips on how to blog or what not to do in your blog. Or a lot of people that are reading are not bloggers, how midlife can make you crazy and how to defeat it. Whatever it is you're offering, offer something if they subscribe. I haven't done that because I haven't needed to, but it doesn't mean I shouldn't, and I will be getting to that. So, but we all struggle with that because in social media, links are shared.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Which is awesome.
And then before we leave today, I'd like you to make a comment. We just have a couple minutes left about repurposing blogs. And when should you go back and maybe renoodle and do a makeover and bring a blog on exactly the same thing with a twist or something?
Well, I think it happens with current events. It happens with me with current events. I wrote about something just similar to that about 2 years ago. Let me go revisit that, bring that blog out, polish it up, add to it. Some of the guts are the same, but a lot of it is current events. I did a piece on Whitney Houston, and that subject has come up more than once ever since then, hasn't it?
I love that blog. I made several comments on that blog, actually, when you first brought it out.
And I think the title of that one was Houston, We Have a Problem.
Yep,
there's another example of how, not everybody loved that blog. They disagreed with me.
I know.
And I loved hearing from them. You have to welcome the bad with the good, because, by the way, each click gives you an SEO ranking. Thank you.
And there you go.
Yeah.
And there you go. All right. Well, awesome. I'm going to encourage all of you, if you want a fun read, if you're over 50, it's Tammy's book. Give the title of your book, Tammy. Single Past 50, Now What? Now What? And when we were brainstorming with Tammy, I said, I'm a Tina Turner fan, and I said the theme song is "What's Marriage Got to Do with It?" So instead of love,
I still think I should have named it that.
I think so too. But you know what? I want you to redo the book, and you and I are going to be talking about that before you go home.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's thank Tammy Bleck for being with us, and all of you, go to TammyBleck.com and enjoy her website. It's really tray fun. Sign up for her blog, Witty Woman Writing, because it's well worth it, and really study it. Look how she does it, because it's a great lesson to learn as you move along. And Tammy, you were wonderful today at your speech, and I know we'll have you again for more time. So welcome,
thank you.
And we'll be with you again.
Being associated is just a pleasure.
All right. It's Author You, your guide to book publishing. We'll see you next week, and I'll have you more with what really rocked and rolled at the extravaganza. I'm Judith Briles.
Thank you for being a part of Your Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles.